What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are a consistent viewer, welcome. Thank you for being so awesome. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos and know when I'm going to be posting. Honestly, it's really not that much right now, especially with work being so chaotic. I am trying to be that consistent YouTuber, but I'm also trying to make sure that I give you guys really good content that also educates you and doesn't just burn your brain cells. That is my goal when it comes to this channel, is to not just show you that you can enjoy the best life and that you can do fitness and work and eat healthy all while living life to the fullest, but also to give you guys something to learn and like educate yourself on. So today's video is really all about my top 5 trainer tips when it comes to nutrition. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so my top trainer tip number 1, I'm gonna put it up here, the nutrition label. Understanding the nutrition label is absolutely important. I can't even describe how important it is. Understanding what's going into your body when it comes to any packaged food, sauces, etc., etc. So I don't have one in front of me right now, which I probably should. I will go in depth if you guys want me to. Just let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys would really like a little video on understanding the nutrition label. I really didn't want to go in full depth for it. I just kind of want you guys to understand that that's an important tip to learn. Is understanding the food label. So bring it back up. Understanding how many calories is in each serving, what the serving is, and the daily percentage value is underneath. So that is what is in that per serving. It is not the daily percentage value that you're supposed to be having, but how much is going to put onto your percentage of daily value. Which then leads me into my top tip number 2, but I'll give you that in a second. So understanding the nutrition label when it comes to sauces and all of that is that let's say you're tracking. You know, we're gonna just skip to number 3 because that's my next one, is to track food. I know a lot of people are a little scared to track food, and that's fine. I totally understand if you don't want to always track food. We are creatures of habit for the most part. We all pretty much eat the same thing all the time. So if you're tracking for the first 5 days, we're pretty much going to eat those same things. That way then you know how many calories, what your fat percentage is going in, etc., etc. You can kind of have a base idea of what you're putting into your body and what needs to change. Once you figure out what you need to change, then you retrack again with that new diet. And I don't want to call it a diet, but that's what it is, with that new nutrition lifestyle, because you're not going on a diet per se. Like, you're still going to enjoy your food. But tracking that then will allow you to understand what needs to change, and if you're still on track to eating healthier, and obviously making sure that you are changing that lifestyle in order to reach those new goals. So for example, if you're trying to lose weight, you should be in a calorie deficit. I'm not saying go from the 2,000 calories that every woman, or 2,000 something for every male, that needs to be eating for your regular human being. You should be eating slightly less than that. I usually tell my clients about 16 to 1,500, at max 1,500, only because you're basically now 500 calories less. You are going to be burning probably about that many calories with your, as long as you're strength training and doing cardio, you're probably going to be burning that throughout the day, just mainly because muscles are burning calories throughout the day because it needs that. But making sure that you're eating the right food. So that's where it comes back to the nutrition label, making sure that it has your daily value of all the things that you really need. You always want to avoid fats. Now, not all fats. Trans fat, polyunsaturated, and monounsaturated is kind of where you want to reduce the amount. So polyunsaturated and monounsaturated all kind of are related to trans fat. So you just want to make sure that it doesn't have trans fat. What is trans fat? Trans fat is any kind of fat such as lard, as long as, if it's solid and room temperature, it's not good for you. So most of the time, baked goods have fat in their way of cooking, if that's the way that they're cooking it, or baking, I guess, in proper terms. So anything along those lines. A lot of things that have trans fat are burgers, fries, baked goods, any margarines or any like room temperature fat. So butters doesn't have it because it melts in room temperature for the most part. So things like that. So just be careful of what you're putting into your body. Really pay attention to that. Trans fat is not good for you. Obviously I get it. I have cookies, I have sugar, I have all of those. I have baked goods. I just pay attention to how much I'm eating into my body. That way, you know, it kind of doesn't affect me as crazy as it would if I'm eating a cake a day. So just be careful on that. You obviously want to make sure that you're putting the right things into your body but still enjoying life. So understand the nutrition label. It is literally the most important thing. I think I'm just gonna do a video on the nutrition label. I don't want to make this video super long, so that's what I'm gonna do. So pending on that. Okay, my top tip number 2. How to shop for healthy foods. So when you're in the grocery store, you want to basically circle the outside of the grocery store. So when I had a coach, before I became a coach, that's what they told me, because I was so curious on nutrition. I was like, how do I stay on track? How do I eat the right foods? How do I know I'm eating all the right foods? That's a big question for a lot of people, because you can go in and go into the freezer aisle and be like, I have frozen vegetables. I do that a lot of the time due to being just lazy. It's already pre-cut. I don't have to do any of that. I just shove it in the microwave. We call her a day. But that's still not good for you. Obviously, the fresher, the better the produce, the healthier it is for you, and has all the vitamins, minerals, etc. So you want to circle the outside. That will have all of your meats, your dairies, your fruits, your vegetables, and anything else that you need there. Most of the time, that's exactly on the outside. Then, if you desperately need something in the middle, then you can circle within the middle. Now, nothing really that good for you. For example, sauces aren't really excellent for you. Just if you, I'm obviously being realistic here, they're not. They add calories. So for when you get to tracking, you want to make sure that you're adding sauces, you're adding seasonings and all of that when you do add that into your cooking in your tracking, so that you know they add calories very quickly. I promise you that. So shop on the outside first, fill up your cart with whatever you need there, and then you can follow the lines in between at the grocery store. That is my top tip. I should have said that first, but top tip is to shop on the outside and then go within the aisles. Nothing you really need is in the center. You really don't need that bag of chips. They are empty calories. By empty calories, I mean that they don't really have many nutrients in it, even if you're eating veggie chips, not tips, veggie chips. Yes, if you feel like you need to have a snack of some sort, cool, get peanuts, those are healthier fats. Those chips, veggie chips, they're still very high in salt, so they're really not that good for you, but God forbid if you need something like that. Fun fact, popcorn, microwavable popcorn, has trans fat in it, so you probably want to stay clear of that too. Just because it is healthier options on popcorn, it's still not good for you. So that would be my top tip. Once you finish like filling up your cart with all the necessities in your fridge and freezer, you probably won't need to really go in the center because you're already filling up your cart pretty quickly. But if you do for sauces and etc., just again, go back to reading that nutrition label, making sure that you're picking the best sauces for you. Obviously enjoy your life, eat and enjoy the food. But for my purpose of my points, point number 3, track your food. Now, I'm not saying track your food for the rest of your life, unless you're bodybuilding and you really feel like you need to weigh and track. I track my food every so often if I'm changing my diet for the day. If I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kind of steer clear from what I normally eat. Tip number 3, track your food. Now, I'm not saying get obsessed with it. I'm not saying track your food for the rest of your life. I say track your food based on the fact that you are wanting to get a basic understanding of what you're actually eating. I am going to pop up my Fitness Pal, so you'll see that in just a second. While I'm talking about it, so today I've been pretty naughty. So tomorrow, let's do for yesterday's tracking. I did track my food yesterday. So as you can see, my daily goal is 2,500 calories. Now I am reaching that. I probably don't need to eat as much, but you want to make sure that when you're tracking your calories that you're making protein the utmost important thing. So when it comes to tracking your calories, look at myplate.gov. with that, it does help significantly to understand all of that, but be careful with it, because if you're someone who's trying to gain muscle, you want protein to be the utmost important meal of your day and in every single meal that you have. Then you pick carbs and fats. So an easy way to remember that is protein is the size of your palm, carbs are the size of your fist, and then fats are the size of your thumb. You want that for every meal. And then you have 3 main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you have 2 snacks in between. And if you really want something sweet at the end of the day, I get it. I can give you options on that, but you want to be very careful. So as you can see on my MyFitnessPal is the one that I use. That's the most one that I give my clients as well, just because it's easier. But as you can see, I had about 1731 in my food, so not even close to what I should have been eating. For breakfast, I had about nearly 600 calories, to be exact, 577. As you can see, I have black pepper, garlic, and all of that as well included into my tracking. You can see that it adds calories. Whether or not it's 17 or 10, it adds, and that takes to your calorie day. So lunch, I really didn't eat lunch. I probably would have reached past. I absolutely would have reached past if I actually ate lunch. I was being a bit bad yesterday, so just ignore that. But dinner, I then had enchiladas that a client made me, so I don't know fully what's in it. She didn't really give me the details. And so it was a guesstimate of how many calories are in it. I know she's tracking, so I'm assuming it's not super bad, but as long as I'm under 1,000 calories for dinner, I'm okay with that. I obviously don't want an entire meal to be 1,000 calories. And of course I added some sour cream to it as well, because sour cream is delicious and I love it. Then obviously you see that I have snacks. I had some cookies. I had about 3 cookies, and then I added all of my multivitamin supplements, etc. And then obviously water. I didn't really track. I wasn't very good at that. So that is something that I am very important, like I stress for my clients. You can then click the calories remaining, that top bit. Here you can kind of see the nutrients for the day. So protein, I definitely needed to do better on that. But you can see I've had polyunsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat, didn't have any trans fat, thank God, which is really nice. And then obviously all of my iron and etc, etc. So you can then click and see where your protein, fat, and carbohydrates are supposed to be at. You can obviously change your goal to make that even higher if you want it to. I just haven't messed with it, so this is just kind of like an idea, so I can kind of stay on track. And then obviously you can track the calories, how many calories you actually had compared to the calories you needed. And it tells you like where you're mostly eating and where you're not mostly eating. So that is something that I definitely recommend doing. Obviously you want to make sure that you can kind of get a basic understanding of how much you're putting into your body and what you're putting into your body. Try to be as specific as possible. Today I had Starbucks for breakfast, and it's on there, and Chipotle's on there if you're in Florida or South America or wherever Chipotle is. I don't even know where Chipotle is. They have that on MyFitnessPal as long as you search. Have a guesstimate, but don't pick the lowest calories because you think that's healthy. When you're trying to gain muscle, you want more calories. When you're trying to lose weight, you want less calories. So keep that in mind. I know people are like, I can't track because I might get too obsessed. I understand. Don't stay tracking, but track a couple of days, see where you're at, see what you need to change it, track again for a few more days, and then after that, be done with it. You don't need to be obsessed with it. You just don't. It's not necessary, and I know some people are like, I will. There's no need. Delete the app if you feel necessary. And don't look at food as if it's this worst thing in the world. Food is excellent. Your body needs food, so don't deprive your body of that. Okay, top tip number 4. Make food at home. You don't need to go out or order Uber Eats every single day. You don't need to eat out all freaking time. It's unnecessary. It really is. And you don't know what they're putting into their food and what they're cooking with, because I can guarantee you they're probably not cooking with the healthiest things, which is why it tastes so good. So most of the time, at least make your lunches at home and your dinners. If you're like, I'm always in a rush and I'm never gonna wake up early, I always get breakfast out, fine. But just be careful with it. I always recommend waking up a little earlier. I get it. I'm also someone who waits last minute to go and eat food or wake up. And so I always have to meal prep my lunches for the week ahead. I'm pretty bad at that too. So most of the time I just make a really big dinner and I just overload it so that I have some for the next day. If that makes sense. If that's helpful as for someone who probably doesn't like to meal prep, that is what I do. I just make bigger dinners. You're already cooking dinner. You might as well already make it bigger so you can have something for lunch tomorrow. I do pre-make my snacks though, so I do make sure that I have snacks for the day. My favorite snack right now are some little oranges, and then of course some rice cakes with peanut butter and chocolate chips on top for something sweet. If you want to eat something sweet in the evening, if you haven't had any fruit yet, have some fruit, Cool Whip, call her a day. If you're like, I want a bowl of ice cream, just be cautious of what you're putting into your body once again. I'm not saying take away food. I'm not saying that you have to stop eating certain foods. But just be really careful because you want to make sure that you're not going out of your calories. If that goal really means that much to you, you're gonna have to make a sacrifice and you're gonna have to change. Obviously, once you start reaching that goal, I'm not saying eat all the cookies. Like, I still have to be careful, but obviously I've done the work in order to achieve a certain way. But still, enjoy life, because that then leads me to top tip number 5. Enjoy, well, you want me to read it right away? All right. Do not overstress when it comes to tracking food, and always enjoy life. Now, fitness is super important. I can't promote fitness more than I already do. However, you also want to make sure that you're fueling your body with the right foods before you start fueling your body with the wrong foods. I have clients who love going out to drinking. That's excellent, but think about how many calories and how much sugar is in that drink that you're probably drinking 5 or 6 times throughout that night. And then you're gonna go and get pizza at the end of the night while you're drunk, and then you're gonna eat crap in the morning because you're hungover, so you're gonna get really greasy foods. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I'm gonna be honest. Still have a couple nights to enjoy with your friends, but just be cautious about what you're drinking, cautious about how much you're drinking. You can still enjoy the night with your friends. You don't need to get completely obliterated drunk unless you really want to. I'm not gonna sit here and hold your hand. I'm not your coach and I'm not your mother. So that's one big thing. Still enjoy pizza with your friends. Have pizza night once a week. Have a Taco Tuesday once a week. Nobody cares. But as long as you're staying on track with your goals and you're not overeating or undereating based on your goals, then you're gonna do just fine because you can still enjoy life. Again, referring back to the tracking, you don't have to stress with tracking. Just see where you're at, make the changes, track again, see where you're at, make the changes, track again. It's not that hard. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm not someone who's obsessed over tracking. I'm really not. Sometimes I forget to track. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to plug all my stuff in. But I have a goal that I want to reach, and I will make the sacrifices in order to reach that goal because that goal means so much to me. So, with all that being said, I will do a nutrition video on just the food label alone and learning how to understand that. I will also put the link for myplate.gov in the description box below, so if anyone wants to actually go and see that, by all means. My Instagram tag is also going to be in the description box below, so if you guys want to give me a follow, definitely do that. I do some things on there. I'm pretty bad at Instagram right now, but I'm trying my hardest. I'm sorry. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you guys feel a little bit more educated. Obviously, I'm going to do a deeper one on the nutrition label because I find that needs 30 minutes on its own sometimes. And understanding like what each thing actually means. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want more trainer tips, I do have another one planned. I'm thinking of doing one about before getting a coach and what to know when you do get a coach, what to expect from a coach online and in person. So yeah, without anything else to say, I am gonna leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys thought. If you guys feel like, Brittany, we don't care about your nutrition videos, don't post them. then just let me know. Probably still gonna post it anyway because I'm sure someone out there really feels like this is important to them. So anyway, thank you guys for coming in and watching. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and if I don't post anytime between the week, I hope that you guys have an excellent week.